Let's roll to our last one, Michigan and USC. Tom?
I like Michigan in this one. And I know I bagged on Michigan plenty this year, and I still think 8-4 is a real possibility, guys. But in this one, I just think this is trending in the right direction for Michigan. And right now, USC is favored by 2.5, over under 57.5. I do see what Vegas is pointing at, and that, yeah, Jaden Maeva and company have thrown the ball extremely well throughout this season. This is in Los Angeles. This is favored. This lines up in their favor in a lot of ways. There's a lot of injuries right now on this USC defense. I think the world of Danton Lynn. I think he's a very good defensive coordinator, and he has his guys disciplined and prepared for every game they go out and compete in. I just don't think they have the right talent available to them right now to slow down what Michigan is capable of. And I've talked about it throughout the season. This is an offense with Bryce Underwood and company that is incrementally getting better. He's getting more and more comfortable as a passer. The one thing that's consistent is that arguably the best transfer portal acquisition of the entire offseason, Justice Haynes, looks fantastic. And I think if Michigan were a higher profile team, he'd be the Heisman favorite at this point in the season. If Michigan was a team that was sniffing the top 5, that's my point. I think Bryce Underwood is going to have to play this one still pretty conservative, but again, Michigan, I think they can get out to a lead. And I do think the physicality is going to be something that USC just can't match. And the one thing that I think would work in Lincoln Riley's favor is actually running the football consistently in this game. What they've been able to do so far this season with Jordan at tailback has been really impressive. But Wayman Jordan, for all of his gifts, kind of like Woody Marks from last season, there were plenty of times last year, and Lincoln Riley has done this a bunch, where he gets into games where it can be a time of possession, field advantage type of game, and he just forgets to run the football and he gets pass happy. I think that's going to happen again in this game because Michigan wants to play that game. It's very clear that they want to do that from the outset. So I think Bryce Underwood is slowly getting better. He still doesn't have the weapons that are really going to scare anyone, but I think they'll still have their opportunities here against USC. As I mentioned, some issues with their availability on defense. So I like what Michigan can bring to this one. And it is this big question mark now, again, not to continue to harken back to my Penn State Indy Lions, but after that loss to UCLA, it feels very wide open as to who's the third and fourth best team in the Big Ten. Yes, Indiana, and we're going to learn a lot more about Indiana this weekend on the road against Oregon, but Michigan has a chance here against what is now a 4-1 USC team to leapfrog them and all of a sudden make their place in the in that upper echelon of the Big Ten. And dare I say, if things trend in their direction, could sneak into the college football playoff. It's too early to tell, but this is going to be a good resume builder. I think the loss at Oklahoma and the victory against Nebraska told two very different tales, two very different teams in general that they played against. That defense of Oklahoma, I think we all agree, is one of the best in the country, top 5, top 3, maybe. That was a tough outing for them. And then against Nebraska, inferior competition, not by a ton, but by enough. And Michigan was able to jump out in front. I think this is going to be a similar situation. Jaden Maeva is going to be able to get his yards and he's going to be able to get some points. So the question is, can Michigan keep up with it? And can they cause some turnovers to at least limit the amount of possessions that USC gets?
Tom, let me ask you this, and I think this is going to be an underlying key stat for the game. Is Michigan going to have an offense that can counteract everything that we know about the passing attack of Jaden Maeva? Jaden Maeva, if they're down by 14 and their bread and butter is winning on the ground, do they have a passing attack that can say, hey, time of possession is not in our favor. We got to get this thing into high gear. Donovan McCulley, Marlin, tight end, secondary wide receiver. We're going to trust you. Like, are we at the point of where Bryce Underwood is being told, this is now your offense? Go ahead and run with it.
The short answer is no, in that if this is still a team that's down by 2 scores and you've got 10 minutes to play, for instance, in the fourth quarter, give or take, I don't like that situation for Michigan. I don't like them in a lot of 4-minute situations, right? At the end of the first half, for instance, when they have to go quick. McCulley has stood out, to your point. I like that you brought him up, and he is somebody that I think is a big body guy who is going to be able to have a little success against USC. But again, if Maeva, excuse me, and those wide receivers are able to score early and be safe with the football, avoid turnovers, avoid mistakes, and they build enough of a lead, they'll be able to keep Michigan at bay. But the flip side of this is what I think is really going to be interesting is that this Michigan defense, I think, is going to attempt to make that running game try to be the focal point. And I think Lincoln Riley is going to see the opportunities in the passing game, and he's just going to get baited into that because I've just seen it happen too many times with him in Big Ten play at this point. So I think Michigan can pull this out. I think it'll be close, but to the points you just said, there's no way that Michigan has the ability right now, down 2 scores, not 10 points, but like 14 points to a good opponent on the road, especially. I don't think Michigan's able to come back from that.
It feels like if this goes over 57.5, that certainly favors USC. I know their defense is atrocious, but
Agreed.
Can you see Michigan scoring enough there? Getting 4+ touchdowns to win that game? I mean, I feel like it needs to go not well under, but it needs to go under. It needs to be under like 50 if you're seeing the path to a Michigan win on the road here.
I could see a situation where where Michigan is getting 4 touchdowns on the day because they run the ball extremely well. Like they really do. And they get a lot of explosives through the running game. So they are able to score quickly in this game, kind of like what they did against Nebraska. They had a lot of bursts here and there where it was a 75-yard touchdown run by Justice Haynes. They were able to flip the field at one point with a muff punt and then score immediately. Like you're going to need those situations to give you that cushion against USC. But the total, 57.5, that number scares me a little bit. But I still think there's going to be points that USC is going to be able to get in the passing game. So I'm going to take Michigan like 28-24.
I'll get right back to our video, but first, I do want to tell you about Sleeper's brand new promotion. It's for October only, so do not wait on this. If you've been waiting to deposit on the Sleeper app, but you're cheap, or you just don't want to spend money, or whatever your excuse is, you just don't believe us about the match, you don't even need to make a deposit now. Use our code CFA and you get a free $20 entry on the Sleeper app. You heard me right. Free $20 entry on the Sleeper app if you use our code CFA. The link is in the description. If you do deposit, there's still a 100% match up to $100, but you do not want to miss this promo. It's just for October. Go get it done now. Come play the More or Less game with us on the Power 2 live every Wednesday at noon, and go get your free $20 entry. Thanks to Sleeper for their support. Now back to the video.
The thing that I think is going to be really important for Michigan in this game is you can't get beat in multi-dimensions. You can't allow USC to be able to run it all over you and then to be able to pass it all over you. You have to eliminate one of those things. And if they win on the ground and they get over 200 plus rushing yards and that's how they win the football game, okay, not saying that you're proud of it, but you can live with it. But if they're able to slice and dice you apart with the rushing attack, and then you get a healthy Jacoby Lane, who for my money is the second best wide receiver in the Big Ten, maybe the third, and the only one that you consider maybe a little bit better is Mekhi Lemon, his teammate. Remember, he wasn't healthy for that game against Illinois. So Mekhi Lemon really was the answer in that game. Jacoby Lane being fully healthy, I think, could be a big difference in this matchup. If you allow them to beat you and the rushing attack, that does not favor Michigan at all. A part of me just says Michigan, I think, is going to eventually get there offensively in the passing attack. What I worry about is that even though, and I'm going to push back a little bit, TJ, I don't think that USC's defense is awful. I don't think it's great. I think it's like
it's not Alex Grinch bad.
It's but it's fine. I think that they're going to get enough advantages. They're going to be able to slow down the tempo of what is Michigan. And that's going to lead to USC kind of finding that opportunity to make things interesting. And I think USC is able to pull this one out. I got USC winning this one 34-30 final score out in the Coliseum. And a lot of things, as Tom just said, I don't think of that number 3 spots open. I think Indiana is securely put right now as the third best team in the Big Ten. That 4 spot is a 5-way race. And I think USC can easily find itself in that conversation.
Yeah, I think I'll just roll with the whole home team here. If this was in Ann Arbor, I'd probably go the other way, but I hate to buy in or believe in Lincoln Riley. I don't have a lot of faith anywhere here, so I'll just have faith that it's not in Ann Arbor, and so give me USC. Yeah, I'll go even a little higher, 35-28. USC wins it. I think that's all we got for this week. We did 6 games.
Nice slate this weekend.
A great slate. There were games. I mean, I texted you guys the other day. I talked about this when we were live on Monday, but there were games we left off of here. What else was, Georgia, Auburn, LSU, South Carolina, BYU, Arizona. I think
Arkansas, Tennessee, you could throw in there.
Texas Tech plays
Kansas,
and then Arizona State plays Utah. So there's a lot of really good stuff this week. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of it, but tried to give you our best. We will be back on Monday to break it all down. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Tom Hannafin, Cole Thompson, TJ Pittenger. Social media is all in the description if you'd like to go follow and argue with any of us. Cole is probably your best bet for that. But make sure you hit the subscribe button on the way out. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the game starting tonight.
North Texas gets the upset.